and The Sopranos, stuff like that. We interviewed Emmett Smith, huge NFL legend. They see that. And I always say to people, you have to put out the content, not other people's content, your content. And it has to be authentic. And I think that that's the key to almost anything. It's not overnight. Like I said, unless you have a name, unless you're famous to begin with, none of this is overnight.
Yeah, it takes time, days, and months and years.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine if there was 2 million television shows, which it seems like it sometimes. But what if there's 2 million television shows? Do you think all those people are going to succeed? There's millions of podcasts, and on average, about 91% fail, or they just do okay. The other 9% thrive. So are you going to be that part of 10%? Everyone that I know that has made a ton of money and has done very well in podcasting, it took them 3 to 4 years to create a foundation. And once they created the foundation, they excelled. I know one friend that just bought his second house with cash. Now, that doesn't mean that that's what we want and that's what everyone's going to get. But the thing is, it took him, I think, 5 years to get, he was a busboy. And it took him 5 years to make it. And it was a simple podcast, but it just took off. And you got to be consistent, consistency, and you have to do it right. We always say my goal is to make her look good and to make you look good. That's what when I podcast and I host, that's what my focus is. I want them to look good, and I want the people that are listening to be entertained. So sometimes we may go off on a tangent. Sometimes we'll say something fun or weird.
Or I laugh a lot.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is those are the focuses. And I think too many podcasts, they do the show for them. I think this is great. I've never once heard a podcaster say, man, my show sucked today. Everyone thinks their show, it's like Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay. Not one restaurant has ever said, I knew our food stunk. No, they all say our food was, we've talked to some of them, our food was great. We had no idea it was so bad. We just wanted free publicity from Gordon Ramsay.
And then Gordon's like, well, what am I doing here? And like James said, they wanted the publicity on television.
And then he eats the food and he goes, this is disgusting. This is the worst food I've ever tasted. But to them, they're thinking, what are you talking about? My meatloaf's the greatest. And he goes, it's dog food. It's gross. So that's the thing, is you got to, I always tell people too, is I have about 10 friends that are brutally honest. Some more brutal than others, but they tell me, you should have done this. You should have done this. You guys talk too much here. You guys didn't talk enough here. You didn't answer the question. You said and too much. You said again, on and on. You said it and again 10 times, which we do sometimes. So it's you have to be willing to have a thick skin. You've got to deal with trolls. I had one guy tell me, I like your show, but I don't know. I just hate you. I just hate you. And you're like,
yeah, well, I like your content, but we.
And so I told him, well, thanks for listening. Keep listening.
Yeah.
It's like a hater is still a listener.
It's still
or a watcher.
view. It's still a watcher. I always say that. It's, because some people will say, oh, I'm getting trolls. I'm getting all this negativity. And I always say, well, it's because you're doing something. You can't get negativity unless you're putting something out there and it's being seen by the masses. So that comes with the territory. But like James said, you need thick skin. I've had to learn that because, this is all new to me. Even though I worked in radio, I was behind the scenes. And even when I would go out and do the live events, I was just one of the workers there. It wasn't about me. So I didn't get that attention. And I always feel that, it's not going to stop you. It's not going to stop us from doing shows. It's not going to stop us from doing interviews. Again, we're being asked to do these incredible things. So obviously we're doing something right. And my feeling is, and James and I have talked about this, a troll is still giving you a view, still giving you a listen. still giving you attention. And that attention is causing the algorithm and causing more traction, whether it's your website, your podcast, your Twitter account, regardless of what it is. So for us, it's like, hey, you're just helping us. You may not think that, but you are at the end of the day. And we're not going to stop doing what we're doing. Why?
Yeah. And the key to all of this, you have to market. Every podcast I know thinks that if they do a celebrity, if I could just have a celebrity, I will blow up. I will explode. Everyone, look who I interviewed. That's not how it works. We know someone that interviewed, who was on TV for several years, who interviewed one, and I'm not going to name names, but they interviewed probably by far the top media person in sports media today, making millions of dollars a year. They got, I think, 14 listens. Wow. And this is the guy.
We could say who the interview is, just not the podcast.
Well, no, I don't want to say. I don't want to say nothing.
The person
nothing.
is big. The person is big.
Don't go there. Yeah, it's not. But the thing is that the moral of the story is you got to make your own content, and you got to find your people, as Florence always says, and you got to market, because the more you get out. Look at when a Harry Potter movie comes out. Why do they have a commercial every freaking 30 seconds? I mean, here's Harry Potter saying hi. Here he is saying hello. It's just over and over and why do they do it 3 months before the movie comes out? Because it's marketing. The more you see it, the more, God, I got to watch that. And that's the key. Most people do not market. And I know it's expensive. Gosh, I just got one last week. Pay us $3,500 and we'll a month, and we'll market you. And I'm thinking, well, you have 2,000 followers. What are you going to do for us? So
sometimes hundreds of followers. It's like, wait a minute.
I can market you. I can make you a big deal, a star. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But the marketing, and see, that's the thing, is when you get with people that really want to help you. When we first started, marketing was too expensive for us, but we had a few people that they charged us very little, like literally just nothing, hardly anything. But they said, we want to charge you a little bit because we want this to be serious to you. And we did, and we never forgot it. And they said, pay it forward. Always pay it forward. That's part of the payment. You have to pay it forward. And we've tried to help people. And most of the people that we help and kind of our friends, they do well. And it's because they have that same kind of mentality. We're not the most talented. We're not the most exciting. We're not the most groundbreaking, but no one's going to outwork us. And that's the thing, is you've got to be, look at all these people online. There's a great podcaster, and I forget his name right now, but he said 90% of podcasters and writers are too busy making themselves out to be stars instead of concentrating on their content. And that's the thing. Look what I did. This person said I was wonderful, and I'm beautiful, and I'm amazing and handsome. And this guy said they just bragging, trying to get attention. And the thing is that's not what's going to make it. It's going to be the content. What is your content? I made it during that time and went viral because I had an article that people liked and it touched their hearts. And that's the thing. Florence had interviews and articles that touched hearts. That's the thing, is we want to entertain people, maybe get them to think a little bit and have fun doing it, and then have a business out of it. What more could you ask in life?
Yeah, I also think that, and James just mentioned touching people's hearts. When I first started doing articles, and I know James did the same exact thing, even though we weren't working together, I had done articles on foundations. Like, instead of just doing the celebrity and their Hollywood lifestyle, I was doing it like on Rosanna Arquette, who I got to interview, on a foundation she had done for her sister that passed away. I was doing foundations and personal stuff and dog rescues and things that maybe people didn't know about the celebrities or the athletes. And I think that's part of it too, is maybe try something different. If you're copying what everybody else is doing, just because it worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And at this point now, it's it's saturated because so many people are doing the same thing. And I think what really helped us in the beginning is we did think outside the box. It was his idea to take my website and those interviews and to make that into a podcast and to do audio, and then from audio to video. He's very modest and he doesn't give himself a lot of credit, but the networks he's created, he's had several podcasts that he's launched for other people that were successful when they were on our network. And part of that was because he had this vision of doing a podcast for each sports team, plus we did the celebrity podcast. Then we did a podcast for writers, for, book reviews and et cetera and et cetera. I mean,
we don't give
done
too
that.
many of our
secrets
there.
away.
You gotta be quiet there, woman.
No, but what I'm saying is that's part of it, is to think outside the box and to do something different. And if you're doing what everybody else is doing, it's really not going to stand out.
It's like you, Rome. You have your own flavor. You have your own way of doing it, your own vibe. You have to be you. And when you do that, you don't need something on your head, exploding or something. You don't need to have face paint or be doing TikTok dances. You don't just be you. And that's the problem, is that people, only about 10 to 15% of people online are creating. The rest copy. Look at all these people with reaction videos. Look at a TikTok trend that'll happen, and then everyone's doing the family vloggers. They all do the same skits, pretending it's their everyday life. It's just all fake. Or reaction videos. Oh God, I'm listening to R&B from the 80s. Oh my! Look at the pictures of their thumbnails. Oh, they're all the same. It's ridiculous to me. I just be real, just be yourself, and do what is fun for your audience, and find your niche, find your people, and then grow it with marketing. Get other people that will help you to market. And that's the thing too.